Welcome everybody to the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson. From a long, long way away. I've moved into the city to be closer to you, and you've moved, well, you're on holiday halfway around the world. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I'm in Boston today. So we were in Brooklyn, New York yesterday. And
I thought you meant Brooklyn, like round the corner past Footscray. Anyone in Melbourne would get that joke. Anyone outside of Melbourne probably won't. So, anyway.
You should maybe get a helicopter to there, but I think flying a plane there would be super difficult. Very short runway.
Oh, goodness. Goodness. So you're in Boston.
Have a look. Yeah, Boston, and we only just got in today, so I haven't really got much to report to you. But I only thing I can tell you, the food, the one dinner we've had so far has been exceptional. So thank you, Mario's, for a delicious dinner tonight. And
I expected you to have an accent when you come back.
Look at me, very strange all the time, and they think I'm from England. So I'm going to just keep playing to that English charm. That's the way I'm looking at it, yeah.
They love us.
It actually feels like I haven't seen you for a few weeks because last week we were with Ryan. The week before that, I was with Maddie Yuga, and then because I've been on holidays, we've been a couple of weeks recording. So it's good to see you again anyway, because it just feels like a minute. The last time I saw you was Hobby Hangout.
Yeah, like I moved the week after the Hobby Hangout, I think, and it's been. I think I went through like troubleshooting, trying to get the internet online, and we're good. We're back though. It's good. It's good to actually be back to a normal episode.
For listeners at home, the problem with the internet was Adam, not Russell. Okay, so
I'll put that on. I'll put that on the record because I'm the one that outputs it to Facebook and YouTube. Because my internet's terrible or was terrible, it appeared that Russell's internet was dodgy. It wasn't at all, and I will.
Hope you're listening, Anthony.
Yeah, it was the internet that I was connected to, but that shouldn't be a problem anymore.
So I'm actually just looking at the podcast schedule. So the last time you were on was the 19th of November. You've actually had a month vacation, Adam.
I wouldn't call it a vacation. I call it a break of sorts. I almost had a breakdown. No. It's good. It's just really good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Welcome back. It's great to have you back. It's been too long.
Yeah, and then I've got to listen to I did listen to you and Matt have a chat. I need to listen back to you and Ryan because I'm very always interested to hear Ryan's takes on things.
I think the reason why, if listeners haven't heard the Gemrate episode, the reasons why you should listen to it is that he's a really smart guy who's basically just immersed himself into the hobby.
Yeah.
The other thing about Ryan too is he actually doesn't have an angle that he's selling. So he's not a social media influencer. He's not a breaker. He hasn't been bought out by Tops or, Fanatics or anything like that. So he literally just looks at the hobby through a very mathematical lens. I will admit that. He looks at things from a very analytical standpoint, but at the same time too, I also think that also provides a particular level of unbiasedness. So, I think he's a really fascinating guy. And, one of my life philosophies has been to always surround myself with smarter people than myself. And I will definitely put him into the smarter than myself category. He's a very, very intelligent dude. So yeah, if you like listening to, intelligent takes from people, definitely check this guy out. And speaking of not intelligent takes, I'm going to do a backflip from the last episode already this episode. So we'll get onto that a little bit later. So bit of a summary for today's episode. We're going to talk about the in-season tournament. We are going to talk about Haliburton and Draymond Green again. And yes, I do know we spoke about it last week, but I think these are really big issues, in the hobby. So, I think it's okay to talk about that again. We're going to talk about a massive full set that someone's put together. Josh Primo, Coulibaly, Ayo. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. We're going to talk about 1-on-1 because I think it's that time of year and, it's definitely worth having a bit of a run through on that. So
we have a new sponsor supporting the show. It is The Bangman, who is a new startup and have been operating since June this year, delivering a variety of hobby packs in a single box at an affordable price. So far, they've delivered some huge hits. The biggest one they've pulled so far is a Steph Curry Signatures Gold Auto to 10, which came out of the July edition. Some comps have been rounded up to about 15k AUD, which was verified by Card Letter. So if you're not familiar with what the Bangman is and what their product is offering, it's basically an assortment of hobby packets put into a box at an affordable buy, and you can then open a variety of different hobby packs. Some of the advantages of buying into a product such as this is that you can sample a whole bunch of different products. Another way to think of it is doing your own break at home. The advantage of the Bangman's product is you are purchasing sealed, unsearched hobby packs as opposed to a single card repack product that has a huge range in value. Just to make the clear delineation between the Bangman's product and any traditional repack, when you buy into a Bangman product, you are getting the guarantee of the Panini seal, and then all of the hits then come out of sealed products. So all the numbered cards, if appropriate for the product, rookie patch autographs, signature cards, and of course those super short prints and case hits. Another key point for the Bangman product is that they have an assortment of different hobby packs in a custom box at 2 different price points, one being a gold edition and the other being a silver edition. Each month, the Bangman changes up the pack so it's not the same constant lineup. For listeners of our podcast, we have an exclusive deal for you. Use promo code youcantcompthis to get a $15 discount off your next purchase. Find the Bangman on Instagram, the.bang.man, and on Facebook, The Bangman. Thank you so much, Amir and Team Bangman.
Look, I think I'm going to open the floor to you to start this episode, Ad, because your beloved purple and gold was showering themselves in champagne.
We were.
And
LeBron won himself an accolade.
Look, he deserved it, man.
Look, it was interesting. I actually, when I did get the internet back, I actually was on a friend's podcast where we talked. I got to actually talk about the Lakers for once, just in a sporting context, without my colleagues sort of taking the mickey too much. It was more of he clearly wanted it. The Lakers, I think the discussions non-hobby related were, did it work? Did it get eyes on games in the November, early December period of the season? And I think the answer is yes. Like, I think people actually paid attention to what was going on. I don't know if it was always positive, but it was something different, and I think people got behind it. And one person that obviously did get behind it was LeBron James, because if he wasn't hungry for it, I don't imagine the Lakers would be taking it as seriously as they did.
So I think the part that you spoke about, it's not hobby related. Like, it's not hard ladder numbers, but at the same time too, I think it is hobby related, because I think any time that you're generating interest, in the NBA, I think that does, roll over to the NBA. So Pacers were defeated by the Lakers in the final, and I think obvious and the easy one here to highlight is Tyrese Haliburton, right? Because he is on an absolute tear lately, and I don't think him making the finals hurt his hobby value. I would definitely say it's improved his hobby value. So just going back to what you're talking about with the numbers, actually I've got them in front of me. So the game averaged 4,580,000 viewers, and for context, that is the most watched non-Christmas NBA game during the regular season in 6 years. So I think if you're using eyes on screens or bums on seats, whatever phrase that you would like to use in that instance,
the
argument is it's been a great success. We talked about this on the last episode, so I don't want to go into it too much, but basically Brian Windhorst, who's the ultimate LeBron jock rider, was saying that LeBron took it seriously, and the reason why he did is because they're trying to sell the rights to it, to Amazon or to YouTube or, whoever wants to broadcast it. So if they get $1 billion extra dollars in, their motivation is definitely there. So look, I'm really glad they took it serious, because I think that's part of the problem, isn't it, with the All-Star Weekend? It's sort of this pointless game that no one cares about, whereas, they were really, really trying. And I think if you've got maybe LeBron still is the marquee player of the league, trying as hard as he can. I think
in
that
year
really does mean
21.
something. And
Yeah.
He's just unbelievable, isn't he? So why don't we try and spin this around a little bit, hobby related, and
Yep.
what you got any hobby takeaways from that game?
Hobby takeaways from that game was, I think Haliburton's the big standout.
So let's
Non-hobby
do
wise,
Haliburton.
Anthony
That's
Davis
totally fine.
was my standout, but like I'm still thinking
Why
back to
don't
what
we
you said
talk?
about
Why
it
don't we
being
do
hobby
Haliburton?
related.
Let's do Haliburton, and why don't we do Anthony Davis? Because Davis played pretty well, didn't he?
We could look at both, yeah. I was gonna say I was either him or Reeves are the ones that sort of pop out to me because LeBron is LeBron. Let's be real.
I'm happy to do Reeves and Anthony Davis, but I think to be fair, we've done Reeves a fair bit this year. I wouldn't mind to
Yeah,
chip in on
Davis is
Anthony
worth a look.
Davis.
See, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
40-20
So
game that's not going to count in his stats.
Tyrese Haliburton silver PSA 10 last sold for $500 exactly. This is an enormous rise for this guy. So in the last 6 months, he's up 46%. Look, I think the real conversation around this is this a buy, hold, or sell? And for me, this is a sell at the moment because, he is really moving into, like, this is obviously not Jordan Poole territory, but, you can buy
Isn't
some
it?
really nice things for
Isn't
five.
it?
Well, Poole went to
Is he
1,000.
Jordan Poole? All right, no, Jordan Poole was trash. It didn't deserve the spike he got. Halliburton, I think, yeah, you're right. It's not Poole level crazy.
Just remember, not that long ago, we were talking about this card at the 280 and 260 mark, and we were sort of like, should we buy this
I
or
wanted
not?
to know
You know
where
what I mean?
his ceiling was. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, look, I got to tell you, if this goes to 600 or 700, I'm not going to be shocked.
No, I'm not because he keeps getting. The thing is, before the in-season tournament, right, and the Lakers focused on him to win that tournament. They had him guarded all up the floor. They were doubling him. They were trying to basically choke their point guard. They had to because he can score and he can facilitate. And you got to take him out of the game, and the Pacers really struggled. Halliburton's a really good basketballer, and if he doesn't make All-Star this year, so I think it's still got a ways to go up. I still think we've got a couple of months of Haliburton.
I wouldn't push back on that, and in fact, I would maybe even go so far to agree with you. But I think probably for me, though, would you rather have that, or would you really have like a really nice BGS Jordan insert, or LeBron James? And I think that's probably where I'm sitting these
It's a
days.
good question. Yeah, it's a very good question. My
Taking it out of
thinking
something
at the
that's
moment
speculative
is a hold.
and putting it into something. Yeah, sure. Look, and that's fine. I just think, like, I got to be honest with you, I'm holding a decent amount of Haliburton, and I think, when I get back from my holiday, I think I'll just literally just try and move, the whole lot off, and then try and buy, one really nice card, whether it's, a really nice Jordan or a really nice LeBron. I might try and do something like that. I think that's I think honestly that's the play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's not pocket change anymore when you're talking about Haliburton. He's definitely gone into another layer as far as the tiering goes, as far as our sort of value. And my question is he a $500 rookie card, or is he that sort of, is he pushing up to that 600-700 by All-Star weekend? I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm not going to criticize you. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. As I said, at the moment, I'd hold. I'm not in a rush to buy, and I think your comment there about thinking about selling when you get back, you've got time to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like that, even if you're not holding, and you want to sell, you've got time. I don't think it's gonna. You're on the downward trend until at least after the All-Star weekend.
Definitely not. No, I couldn't agree more. That the only caveat to that is injury, right?
Yeah, touch wood.
Blows out his Achilles or something like that in the meantime.
Yeah, that's true.
Anthony Davis, silver PSA 10. So this is his 2012 silver PSA 10. Last sold for 1,592. This is very interesting for me. So in the last 6 months, he is down 42%. I'm actually really shocked seeing that number. I would have thought he'd be the type of guy that would be pretty steady most of the time, maybe up 5% here or, down 5% here, something like that. So I'm going to put this to you. Is this now a buying opportunity?
Is it a buy? Ooh.
There's not a good reason why he's down 42%. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I
No,
think he looks
no,
in
and
pretty.
that's
He looks in pretty good shape. He's playing okay basketball.
yeah, true. Well, February 22, there's a $6,500 sale of this card. The pop count is
February
33. It's not
22.
crazy. So yeah, February 2022. Is it February? February 6th, 2022.
Oh
6,500.
man, Ryan would be frothing over this. The pop count of this is 33.
Yeah. So look, Anthony
Tell me
Davis
why this
is
is not a buy. Maybe that's the easier thing to say.
what at 1,500.
Yeah, you tell me why this is not a buy with a pop count of 33.
But there's no I can't give you a reason why it's not a buy. But well, actually, I can give you one. It's Anthony Davis, and he could
So
fracture and
people,
he could break a nail at training and be out for a year and a half.
we can make the hypothetical argument. People have sold out their Anthony Davis and now they're buying Wembanyama.
Yep.
They're buying
Yeah.
Tyrese Haliburton now instead. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. And I worry about him. He's one of those buy at your own risk. He's never, even as the second big guy in Los Angeles, he hasn't generated the hobby love that I think the Los Angeles normally brings. And I think it's because of the inconsistency with his injury history. Because he does. He ducks in and out. Every time you decide to back him, he lets you down. And I've been really impressed this year with seeing him on the floor. And they rested him against San Antonio, and they ended up losing to the Spurs. So what does that tell you? They need a healthy Anthony Davis on the floor. When he's healthy, he's literally one of the most
100%.
dominant players in the entire league. But an unhealthy Anthony Davis is a disaster for whichever team he plays for. But at that price point, I don't know. If someone offered you an Anthony Davis rookie for $1,600 US, one of those 33 cards.
I would pass. And the reason is because I would probably rather put my money to someone else. And then the other thing for me personally at the moment, I'm on this sort of autograph feast. I'm just really into
Feast.
autographs at the moment. Yeah, and that's where I'm really like making my purchases at the moment. And it's sort of one of two things. It's helping me to direct my spending in a direction that I wanted to, and also I'm spending less on smaller cards because I'm saving up to buy autographs. So
Yeah.
I'm
Good
really
point.
enjoying myself at the moment. Look, I'm not always buying rookie autographs. I'm also buying veteran autographs, and that's sort of another avenue that I haven't, really explored a lot of. And I'm just really enjoying myself at the moment. Now, in
Yeah.
saying that, this is one card that if you wanted me to buy an Anthony Davis card, is what I would buy.
Okay. But yeah, that pop count is very, very, very tempting. Very tempting for sure. I don't know. The thing is, if the Lakers, if he gets injured and is out for the season, that card's $1,000 card again all of a sudden. I don't know where its floor is, but the Lakers put in a big run and Anthony Davis is part of another Lakers championship. Then why is that not a $5,000 card? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got the potential to go both ways. But
He knows. Now that you've got me thinking about this, he's definitely got the resume in terms of pedigree, and he does have a championship. But I wonder if you lay down his numbers, and you actually might be a little bit underwhelmed by his actual output that he's had. We
interesting.
probably need to do a bit more of a deep dive into this, and look at his sort of career numbers.
Why
But
is AD? Yeah, like a question
he has
rather
so
than
much
a
potential. But that's probably the thing that is maybe at the back of my head also too with this guy is he's got all this potential and maybe doesn't always, live up to it. But anyway, 2015 Excalibur Anthony Davis Kaboom. I I think this is where I'd be putting my cash into. So BGS 9.5 last sold for 395. I just want to really quickly go through some of the other grades on this. So the PSA 10 did 456, and the BGS 10, which is top one. Okay, so let's just disregard this last sale because it's sold for $100, but it hasn't sold for 6 years. And just for
Okay.
fun, let's look at the BGS 10 Black, which is Pop One
Which
again. And that last sold in
that's the innovation one. Which
2016.
I got the 2013. Kaboom. Wrong one.
Interesting. So Card Ladder has given this card a grade ratio value of $1,314. That is a number that I'm actually completely in agreement with. Look, I was having an off the podcast conversation with Ryan about these a couple of days back, and I think these are the cards that are going to have really excellent long-term value. So that will be the card that I'd be getting on this. I really love this set too. The
My
2015
question
Kabooms are
my
delicious.
question with Kabooms, all right, if you're buying
Talk to
Davis,
me.
are you buying Lakers Davis or are you buying Pelicans Davis?
So my direct reply to that is, it doesn't matter what Kaboom you buy. You can buy the Larry Bird, you can buy the Scottie Pippen, you can buy the Jabari Smith, Tyler Hero. I think they're
Doesn't matter.
all in all in proportion and all in ratio. They've put them into your vault, put them into your your safe, away from your kids, whatever.
Yeah.
You get them out in 20 years. I think they're those. There's always a card in each set that's worth something, and I think
Kaboom's
they've been
it.
scattered through different sets. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You heard it here first.
All right,
Get a
we've
Kaboom. Put it in your vault.
put it away.
But my
We've
question was
really
more:
segued
is
here.
Anthony Davis going to be remembered as a Pelican or a Laker? So that's why I was like, if you're going to go the Kaboom route, which one do you go?
Oh, sorry. I didn't really answer that question then, did I? If you
Personally,
get
I'd get the
a
Laker one
rookie,
because
if you get a rookie Pelicans one, I think that's important. If you get a Lakers one, I think just having the Lakers panache, is definitely important. So
yeah, yeah, cool.
Draymond Green, where are you at with Draymond Green?
I said this off air, and it's a bit more tongue in cheek, but I did. I can't condone anything he's done. I think he's off the rails. I think it's gone. It's beyond a joke. Like I had a
So you
chuckle.
compared him to Rodman off the air.
I
So
did
talk
off
to me about
air.
that
So
comparison.
I saw a post. I saw a post on just a basketball talk page, and someone's like, "You guys are acting like nobody's ever gone off the rails before and been completely off the reservation." Don't you? Maybe some of you are too young to remember the '90s, but there's a guy around called Dennis Rodman. Like, before you start thinking that Draymond's doing anything new, have a look at this guy. And you responded and said, look, like Rodman was a bit crazy. And look, was it The Last Dance? Even Jordan said it. It's just like, we let Dennis do Dennis because Dennis is going to do crazy stuff, right? As long as he turns up and plays and gets his 20 rebounds, we're good. But I'm going to guess that this is where you're going to head is Rodman wasn't as crazy he went to work on the court. Most of his crazy is off court for attention. His bad boy stuff, I don't know. Like he backed it up. Rodman's performance, like he's a better player.
He did do some crazy stuff on the court though. Like he did tick the camera and he kind of did, tackle people on the court and sort of flail his arms around. So maybe actually this is an amazing comparison of the two.
But my question is does Draymond
The more I
have
think about it,
the grounds to do this? Like, is he just flailing and like literally assaulting people because he can't play basketball as well anymore?
this is the part where I'm actually transitioning to at the moment is, where does it become competition and where does it actually become, and I don't want to say unlawful, but
Yeah.
choking people. And like he literally just punched Nurkic in the face. Like he tried to make it look like he was,
I don't care if the
coming off
hand was
balance
open
and
or
all that type
closed.
of stuff.
He punched the guy in the face.
Yeah. It's like kicking Steven Adams
yeah.
in the nuts and he was like, oh, I'm off balance. It's like, no, you weren't, mate. You were just trying to karate kick the guy in the nuts. Like that was as simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's actually where I'm heading with this guy. It's like, and I was asking this in a group chat. Do you ever know of an instance where a player has been charged for assault? Because the one I was thinking about was when Kermit Washington tried to punch another player, but then Rudy T kind of like ran into the punch and then literally
absorbed it.
I think he was out for 6 months or something like this.
Yeah.
I want to look that up to
It's
see
funny
what the
because there's
outcome
so
of
much
that
of
was,
this
because
hold me back kind of mentality, and Draymond gets in there, doesn't get held back. He gets in there, or he accidentally.
he accidentally flails. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing, isn't it?
yeah,
Anyway, look. So I think, you know, again, bringing this back to sort of hobby, relativity, like where I'm at for me is I always find this a little bit disappointing because I've really enjoyed watching the Warriors dynasty. And I think that's the right word to use for these guys. And in some ways, I kind of feel
mm,
like the person who's actually suffering from this is Steph Curry because, if he adds another championship to his resume, like that really does step you up that next step on the pantheon. So that's where I
yeah,
think this matters, hobby wise. And I was saying in the last episode, there's no one tradable on the Warriors. Like you go through the contracts. Draymond is untradeable. Wiggins is untradeable. Chris
yeah,
Paul, maybe you could trade.
yeah.
Klay Thompson is coming off. He's coming to the end of his contract, but they were proposing 2 years at 40 million a year. Like, come on, that's like ridiculous.
Oh, was
I
that?
think the person who would be traded or could be traded is Steph Curry.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Um,
disagree.
well,
I think
when I said this yesterday,
Curry's window is closing.
when I said this to Ryan, I was feeling a bit, I felt uncomfortable about it. And he disagreed with me. And then I heard
Oh,
Kendrick Perkins say it on social media. And that's when I knew I was wrong because Perkins is like, he is completely out there. So I'm just going on the record saying that I'm doubling back
uh
on what I said. Ryan's right. They're never going to trade the guy. Like he's
no, he's
Dirk
not tradable.
Nowitzki.
They get, but
He's Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
he's an untradeable asset. But so it begs a different question: is the Warriors dynasty done?
This is my disappointment. And I think the answer is yes, because they
This
need
is where the
Draymond to
band breaks
win.
up. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And I think we're seeing it sort of slowly in front of our eyes. And I think that's probably where I'm also not sad, but, where I'm a bit disappointed is that,
Mm.
this is the end and we're seeing this very slow, sort of painful, breakup of it. And
And
I don't think it should have ended like this. I think it's a bad way for it
no,
to end. Yeah.
I don't like yeah. That's the biggest thing, right? What's he doing this year? So we'll go back to our lovely friend Steph because he's the one I'm more concerned with this year. What's he putting up? He's putting up almost 29 points a game.
He's still a very productive pro.
Like at that MVP level still. I don't think he's winning the MVP this year, but Curry's still got something left to give. I think Draymond's done. I think when Draymond's hitting people instead of playing basketball and doing what he does best, and it's not being an enforcer, it's being that really a defensive player of the year, Draymond Green.
Yes.
That's who they need. They need defensive player of the year, Draymond. And that player doesn't exist anymore, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's what they lose out on. And does this hurt
He does
Curry's
so much for them.
legacy?
Well, so I was just looking at this. So Curry's on 4 championships. 5 championships is a pretty short list. Derek Fisher, Michael Cooper, Don Nelson, Slater Martin, Jim Pollard, Ron Harper. This is the real juicy one, Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And so those two have already been included in conversations before. And at the end of the day, everyone's going to say, well, Magic was the better point guard. He had 5 championships. He
Yeah.
was the better all-round player. And that's it. The conversation's finished. Whereas the debate is much more lengthier if Steph also has 5 championships, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the part where, and then hobby-wise, obviously, and the value that goes along with having 5 championships, I think that, definitely changes a lot. So, all right, final thoughts on this. Let's not talk about Draymond too much longer.
Yeah. Just disappointing. Just disappointing. That's all I've got. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. Just disappointing.
EJ Cards, our very long time sponsor and supporter. We thank you for everything that you do. Check out EJ Cards. They run fantastic job.
Well, I was going to say, they have amazing trade days,
counter.
and I missed it. I hate moving house. It's the worst. Like sorting stuff out on weekends, and I really wanted to get along.
I'm grateful to EJ Cards. We both didn't go, did we? Anyway, look. all the
You were a
reports
bit
out of it
further
was
away than I was. Granted, but yes, I was going to get down, trying to get down on the 10th. I didn't make it. Now I really wish I had, because there was an amazing
set
set
ground.
brought in.
We'll put the link to this in the podcast description. You'll also find all of the links to EJ cards in the podcast description. But Adam, I think you should do the honors on this, because this is really your wheelhouse. I think that's the best way to say
I
it.
did. Our lovely friend of the show, Sunny Boy Karan, messaged me asking if I could make it in, because he didn't see me at the trade day, and I was like, he was curious. He wanted to show me something. He really wanted to show me a special set. I don't think I can do it any justice by just describing it. This is
I think it's okay to say one of these cards is special. So how you then say that the entire set of a special cards.
For those that don't that didn't see the link, do you know what the set's called? So while Russell looks up the name, that was the what? Something of the game.
Ultimate Signatures.
Ultimate Signatures. Now, this is 24 of the greatest players to have ever played our lovely game. But the 4 key cards they showed in this video, and we will put the link up. It's an amazing link. Carson was running through the cards acquired. Are you ready for these names? All on card. Wilt Chamberlain. Wait, Bill Russell, sorry. I think Wilt's in there. No, he's not.
I was going to say, I didn't know Will was in this set.
He's not.
It's amazing. Who's in it? Was.
No, it wasn't that old. What year is it from? It's an upper deck set, isn't it?
06-07 Ultimate Collection Signatures.
Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Bill Russell, and the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. Other notables.
That you didn't lay it down as...
I was trying to give the non-biased thing.
Melo's in there.
Some interesting one. Dr. J.
Bill Laimbeer, Chris Bosh, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. Hakeem Warwick made it into that set.
Jordan Farmer's in it.
Andrea Bagliani, I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Carmelo Anthony. Dennis Rodman.
Roy.
Speaking of Rodman.
Naughty boy. Ron Williams, Rudy Gay.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it, how the rookies or the contemporary players have not aged well out of this set, have they? No. Whereas the old timers are just like...
Well, you've got Hakeem, Kidd, Julius Erving, Nash. So there's some quality
Jermaine O'Neal's in there.
Bosh.
Jermaine O'Neal sort of stuck underneath the back there.
Yeah, yep. That is a crazy set. But the fact that, how many sets do you think are out there? Think about it. Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, and Bill Russell. What do you say to that? It's a special set. I
think that's the best way to say it. It's just an absolutely beautiful set, and congratulations to Karen and his family, picking that up. So being vaulted, I understand, and correctly so.
Yeah, I'm kind of spewing that I didn't get the opportunity to come down and see it. Yeah, he wanted to show me the Kobe. I would have liked to see all 4, to be honest. That's crazy. It's an amazing set. Yeah. Yes, we'll be down there for the first trade day of the new year. We need to get some competitions or something happening. Brainstorming with Jules. I've got some ideas.
Sounds good. So going from the highest of the high, saying to the lowest of the low is a little bit unfair, but Joshua Primo has been completely cleared of all of his charges, so he is back, and there's nothing further hanging over his head, legally at least anyway. And
charges have been dismissed.
Correct. The writing was on the wall when the Clippers picked him up, because I think that when the Clippers picked him up, they would have done all of their background checks and been very confident that it was going to go away or be imminently discharged. So, that's all happened in that space. Look, I think people dumped this guy and dumped him pretty hard. And, there was lots of jokes and there was lots of fire sales and all that type of stuff. So, I think the real question is, now that all those fire sales have happened, his price is in the toilet, so to speak. Does this guy, become a good purchase?
Is there a buy? Is there a buy factor there?
I think if you have no moral issues at all about, what guys sort of do in their, personal and private lives, and look, I think the answer is yes. I think, he's still a very good prospect. There was a reason why he was so highly drafted. I'm going to sort of merge this into the Josh Giddey thing. I do wonder if for some collectors, that smear will never really be cleaned off entirely. So
It's
for me,
fair.
like Primo becomes a bit of a stay away, and I'm just going to leave that one at that. But I think there's
Ooh.
definitely an angle there for you. There's definitely an angle out there for people to, to buy him up cheap, and then he'll be,
Like, he's
redeem
an
himself in
asset,
the
right?
future.
Like, as far as his basketball cards go, I will say he is an asset. And if his numbers warrant sort of that sort of like a spike, then maybe there are people out there that go, I just want his rookie card. It's not about what he's done off the court. It's about his numbers, his performance with the Clippers. So
The thing that's on my mind though with this guy is that I don't think this is going to be a quick flip by any means, because he's on a
nope.
very veteran team. I don't think there's going to be a lot of minutes available for him this
It
year.
might be
So
a
does that make
primo
sense?
game in the
Like
playoffs.
maybe, maybe that might happen, but I'm not too sure about that, man.
You'll be paying cents on the dollar for his cards anyway. So if you do pick a couple up in a dollar box and he puts on an effort in a playoff game, and you make yourself a quick $50 turnaround or something because of a spike, yeah, good on you. But yeah, I don't think
This is like
any
the
of the supporters
ultimate.
condone the behavior. And look, with the Giddy stuff, it's all. I feel like the Giddy thing's just murkier and murkier as far as like what's. No, I guess no one's got an actual story of what happened. Like we don't know what the facts are.
I think so. I think the way that Matt Yuger approached it was really interesting, because if you listen to him, like what he spoke about, he actually didn't talk about any of the actual alleged things that happened. What he did talk about, though, was the people that have also done, similar things, right? And that was very interesting, because none of those guys were
Yeah,
covered. So that's
yeah, and
that's the
that's
big one for me.
well, I don't even think if Giddy so if it comes to light that Giddy's done nothing wrong and it's just been painted in a certain way to paint a narrative, I think that's evidence to show the power of the media on our hobby.
Social media, I think that's undebatable. Yeah,
Yeah. The court of
100%.
public opinion
But
is yeah. Anyway,
so
we're not a legal show. We're a
no,
trading card
definitely
show.
not. Definitely
Exactly.
not. So the thing that was going through my head just then when we're talking about Primo was the sort of the 3-year window. And
Yeah.
I've been very high on Cade Cunningham the last 12 months, and Pistons at the moment are really bad. So
Are in
they've
the
lost
toilet.
20 games in a row. So the thought that had been going through my head with Cade was that this next ad break is brought to you by Slambox, Australia's best value basketball repacks. Visit www.slambox.com.au to check out the latest series or join the Facebook page DJ's Trading Cards and message David directly. Slambox features big-name autographs including Giannis, Zion, LaMelo, Banchero, Chet, Ja, Tatum, and more. Super short prints, case hits from a variety of different products including National Treasures, Flawless, Noir, Immaculate, Impeccable, and more. Slambox has different tiered product levels to cater for all budget levels and collector preferences. Thank you, Slambox, for your support. Maybe now is actually not the best time to be buying this kid because of how bad the Pistons are. And I actually haven't checked his comps for a little while, so I was just doing that when you were talking about Giddy. So he last
Yeah.
sold for $203. So if you look at him the last 3 months, he's down 48%. So, and I
He's
didn't know that he was
he's
down
plummeting.
48% before I came into this. So what I am going to say though is I'm going to double down on what I was just saying sort of 2 seconds ago. I think I've got no problems with with Cade Cunningham. If you want to buy Cade Cunningham now, like, go out and do it. I still believe in his potential, but I'll probably
Yeah.
also say too, I wonder if buying Cade Cunningham is going to be more viable in the next 12 months as opposed to the next 2 or 3 months. So look, I'm going to keep
Yeah.
watching this, because segueing this into someone else who I quite love dearly, Darren Fox was down to $100 and something for his
Yeah.
silver PSA 10s less than 18 months ago, and now look what's happening to this kid. So this is a little bit of the nature of the beast that we sort of operate in. And if you think it's good value and it's too, good for you to
Yeah.
pass up. Buck against the trend and, dip into it. Alrighty. So getting back to the spreadsheet, because we've just completely segued the last two things. I went to the Wizards and Nets game, which was an absolute bloodbath.
Why would you expose yourself to that?
Well, it's really funny. So the answer to that is because you go over for a holiday and then the schedule is what the schedule is, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
and look, it was awesome. We had really good seats and it was a fun time. We got to see Harry Giles in garbage time, and he's just an absolute beast, that guy. God, he's enormous. But look, the one person, well, there was three standouts for me in the Washington Wizards that Kyle Kuzma was just completely disinterested, and I think that whatever hobby value he currently has, he's not going to go up any higher. I think that this is it. There's nothing more that's going to happen for this kid's career. Jordan Poole, I was making jokes about him leading the league in scoring. This guy is just like, as much as, Draymond's fallen off the cliff, you could really make an argument he's equally fallen off the cliff.
Yeah, Jordan Poole is trash.
I don't know what happens to this guy. He is, for me, an absolute stay away in the hobby. Now, the one shining light, though, for the Wizards was Coulibaly. I think that you need to start prospecting this kid, and I think you need to do one of two things. He's not on card ladder, so you need to do it all manually. So just, every 1 week, every 2 weeks, just sort of, go to 130 point, check out his pricing. And then the second thing to do is just check his box scores and maybe even watch a Wizards game just to see how he's going. Look, I think his effort is there, his energy levels are there. And the other thing potentially is going to happen with this Wizards team is they're going to blow this thing up, man. Either they're going to trade the guys away or they're going to put Kuzma on the shelf and they're going to put Poole on the shelf. And in the event that one of those two things happened, someone's going to win out. And my strong suspect here is Coulibaly. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much positive going on in Washington. The thing is, and I make this as a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek reference, but we're seeing this is about blowing rosters up and seeing where potential's coming from. You see it kind of like an elevator or an escalator scenario where there are teams like Orlando and Oklahoma City who've got these young cores that they've added some pieces and now they're on the up. They're rising and they're both doing incredibly well. You see a team like Detroit that haven't been as fortunate with what the pieces they've picked up. In fact, they've picked up the same piece over and over again in the hope that they're going to have a team of point guards for some stupid reason. But it's slowed their growth. I still think Detroit are headed in the right direction. And then you've obviously got the Spurs that have got Wemby. So, but you look at the Wizards.
You keep going this, and we'll come back to the Pistons in a second. Yeah.
But you look at the Wizards, and someone's like, it's like one of those action movies where someone cuts the cable in the elevator. There is no up for these guys. And the problem is, if they've only got one little shining light potential with youth, I think that player's going to do well for a different franchise. Yeah, and I think that's what keeps teams like that in the cellar. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, it makes me almost angry is not the right word. Like, don't get me wrong, but giving up on Rui Hachimura, it just makes no sense at all.
I'm super happy they gave up on Rui.
I mean? Hey, I just want to go through Pistons roster because I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I would probably say I just think their roster is maybe 2 years behind what the Magic are. So just bear with me for a second, right?
Fair. Yeah.
So Marvin Bagley, they picked him up for absolutely nothing. All right. So for me, I'm totally fine with that. That's a risk that they took. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? Whatever. It was just like free talent they picked up. They picked up Bogdanovic. They need some veterans in the room. I really like that guy. I think he's a sensible guy. Alec Burks, the same thing, right? Moving down the roster. Cade Cunningham, I still think he can be an all-NBA first-team type player. Jalen Duren. All right, so the issue with this kid is that he's young.
I like Duren.
He needs more time on the court, right? Now, the person you were referring to was Killian Hayes. So, look, you're not going to get every single draft pick right. And if the worst pick that they make is Killian Hayes, I'm actually not going to hold that against them. The other thing about Killian Hayes is that he might actually turn his career around, because if he starts hitting 3-pointers with all the other things that he can do, he'll be a rotation NBA player. Jaden Ivey, he's fallen out of favor with the coach. It's not impossible that he'll, come back into favor. I still like that kid's talent. I've got no problems with that. Kevin Knox, another young kid they took a swing on. Moving further down the roster. Now, this is the one I want to talk to you about. Isaiah Stewart, he's a big body, 22 years old still. Now,
Yeah,
Azir
Stewart's
Thompson,
alright. Thompson's the one you want to...
He's a freakish defender. Again, 20 years old, so we're still
Yeah.
really young. So we're at least 2 years away from being a good NBA player.
Mhm.
And if you're talking about the things that people do right in the NBA in terms of effort, defense, passing the ball, taking the right shot selection, it's all there for him. He just needs more time. Defensively, I don't know the metrics on this kid, but if you said to me he's a top 10 NBA defender already, I would not be shocked on that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah. What? So my
there's a lot to like about this roster.
point. There are bits that I like. What I don't like. I feel like Orlando, and I won't go through the top to bottom of Orlando to counter, but I feel like they've put enough solid pieces in. I think Fultz was a good pickup. I think Ingles is a great pickup, as much as I don't think it's an on the court thing. I think it's a culture thing. I think the train wreck bigs, as I mentioned, a friend and I called them a couple of weeks ago, in Bagley and Wiseman. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've got Alec Burks as like some of their veteran leadership. And look, Bogdanovich maybe, but I feel like they're not team guys. They're there for their contract. They're there to get paid. I think Orlando have built better. It was the point that I'm making, and I think Detroit, they've picked up a couple of good players, but I think they've I don't know, but they've got back to back to back. They've got Ivy, they've got Cunningham, and they've got Hayes. That's 3 point guards with a top 10 pick. It's like,
if you don't get your draft picks right, it definitely creates a problem. And I think just to further your point about the Orlando Magic, I agree with you. I think the Magic at the moment are doing really well, and look, and sometimes it comes down to a little bit of luck too. And I think this also you can segue this into the Banchero thing. So I don't think people realize how good this kid is, and maybe it's going to take people. Paulo Banchero, yeah. And it could be the point of them getting to the playoffs and then somehow making it to the second round, and people are like, who is this kid? The other thing you need to add to that too is Franz Wagner. So, realistically, they've got a pretty good roster, but yeah, it's definitely better than the Pistons roster. But if you I'm making like a very obtuse argument right now, but if you took out Paulo Banchero and you took out Franz Wagner, how much different is really this Pistons roster to the Magic roster if this Pistons roster was 2 years down the road? And I think that's really where this Pistons team is. Like, they're just 2 years away from being, anything remotely competitive. That's how I feel about them. So
I think their investment needs to be in someone that's going to develop their players. That's the thing. Like, Duran's got some trash around him. Yeah.
That's where I'm really struggling this year with Ivy. Like, why have they got Ivy on the bench when they're clearly in a rebuilding mode? Like, don't make him a six man. Give him 35 minutes a game and see where this kid pans out.
Pump the kid full of minutes. Yeah, for sure.
Back to the run sheet, Ad. So I feel like this week I'm really highlighting all the mistakes that I've been making. So I'm putting this in as a joke because I couldn't not put it in. I can't pump this kid up and then, this happened. So this is from Rob Perez, which has been a while since I've actually quoted some of his tweets, but we have our first official Schnell. So he's referring to the NBA player Tony Schnell of the season. and one that was only 2 minutes and 17 seconds shy of the record. Ayo Dosunmu, 26 minutes versus the Bucks, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks.
Wow.
Very cool.
Just, whoa. Yep. Okay. Donuts. Absolute donuts.
Let's move on, Ad. Now, this is a
Well,
little bit non-NBA, but I saw this and I had to put it in. Sorry, mate, I interrupted you.
no, I've clicked the link. I've waited to click the link.
This is from my favorite Twitter person, Eric Whiteback. You can't make this up. Donald Trump just announced that he's selling relic cards of himself that contain an actual piece of the suit he wore to get his mugshot taken. To get this card, you have to buy 47 copies of his digital trading cards, costing $99 each for a grand total of $4,601, which would be US dollars. So let's just do a quick conversion using my currency conversion tool. 4601 is $6,869.22 Australian. 25 of the mugshot suit relic cards will also be signed. Now, Adam, would you be interested in a signed Donald Trump mugshot relic card? Putting aside your political ideologies.
Oh, there's nothing political about it. Would I? Maybe.
Hey, do you remember when they put George Costanza into some baseball set?
That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Imagine if they put this into like
Do you want a Trump jersey auto?
Flawless, maybe NT, maybe something like Obsidian or
Far out.
Tell me if they put that into Obsidian that you literally couldn't buy a box of Obsidian.
Oh my God. You're talking to the man that bought a box of like 89 hoops so he could get a Sam Vincent card with Michael Jordan wearing number 12. So, yes, I would.
Oh,
I'd
God.
be tempted by a Trump card. The fact that.
I feel like for me. No, sorry, after you.
No, I'm like, to get the card, you have to buy 40. What digital trading card? When did Trump release digital trading cards? We're missing a point here.
I know.
And
Epic,
are
isn't
they
it?
different
It's
cards?
just epic. This is the most Trump thing that Trump could trump, honestly. Those Golden's videos where he's pumping up the product? Imagine if Donald Trump
Oh my God.
did one of those like promotion videos where he's like, sitting with this big American flag behind him and he's telling you how tremendous these cards are and you need to go out and get them. Or imagine if Alec Baldwin did a send up and he did the advertisement for it.
I can imagine Ken Golden doing it. And instead of being able to get Trump, he got Baldwin to come and help with the that'd be, oh my God. What is the world coming to?
Let's finish on Trump memorabilia cards, clearly.
Clearly.
All right. Now, this is very Russell-centric, this last thing, and I don't even care. If you guys don't want to listen to this, we're going to talk about one-on-one, just like sign off now. Thanks for listening. Take care. One-on-one, it's a 2-card hobby box. It has downtowns in it. It has timeless moments. It has RPAs. I really love all of those 3 cards. I really think downtowns are important. I think the timeless moments are just absolutely beautiful cards, and I think where they stand long term, look, I don't really know. I think they'll be okay, just for the fact that they do pick big players, and they also, as the card describes, they do pick out a timeless moment. So, look, I think they'll be good, but I think from a collector's point of view, like people that PC those players, I think they're going to do really well. So. Look, the checklist is long, and I'm not going to go through it, but one of them that I saw was a Bob Cousy. As I said before, I'm on an autograph chase at the moment. I really want a Cousy. It was Cousy with a black and white photograph, and then they put this beautiful green, Celtic green border around it, and this big, fat Bob Cousy autograph, right through the middle. It is just amazing, and cards come encased. Look, it's just a fantastic set. Look, Ryan had the perspective yesterday. I'm not too sure if he put this on the pod or this was in a private conversation. Apparently someone on social media broke down the return on these boxes.
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty tough. So, going into breaks, I think that's the thing. It's very much buyer beware.
So
28 or
it is
29
okay.
people are going to miss out. Yeah. But if you fortunate enough to, rip your own box of this, I actually think this is probably the best box to rip because, and I need to say this is the Panini line, isn't it? On average, on average, you'll get one really good card in it. You'll generally get, one RPA, or you'll get
Yeah.
one downtown, or you'll get one timeless moment, or, one, fantastic autograph card. And then you'll get the,
Sure.
one base card.
Yeah.
So, look,
Okay.
guys, if you can't buy into one-on-one breaks, I would say don't spare. Look on eBay because some of the resale, particularly of the base cards, goes for pocket change. So there's that part of it too. It's a really funny product in that some of the stuff sells for thousands of dollars, and some of it sells for a couple of dollars. So it's kind of a fun product like that too. And look, personally, I
Yeah.
actually quite like picking up the base cards. I think they're quite nice to have a new PC. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen any of one-on-one, or have you got any thoughts on one-on-one ads?
I've always liked the product. I worry with it. I haven't sort of delved into the small packs, we'll call them, where you get a couple of cards in a box, hobby box, for a while, just because price point changes and things like that. But I do like
Price of
that
it's
kind of
actually come
product.
down this year.
Okay, what's the price point this year for one on one,
So I
roughly?
think the sort of the RRP is around 1,000 to 1,200 USD.
Yeah,
Sorry, AUD. My mistake.
yep.
But I was actually just looking online, and the price has actually come down a little bit. So it's actually possible that in the next couple of months you might be able to pick it up, cheaper than that. So
So it's yeah. My only thing with stuff like that is if I'm at that price point, am I going further for other product? But I think I don't know. One on one's a
yeah,
good a
that's right.
good product, yeah, and it's a good
I suppose the other
checklist
thing too
too.
is it's wild, yeah. It really is. I gotta say though, that koozie is just, fantastic. There was one more note I just wanted to just quickly touch on.
Yep.
So in last year's set, which was the 75th set, so this was a really weird one because these cards also came out in Noir, and the
Mm.
75th signature set was numbered to 75. So, and people went at this really hard, and people were trying to get the whole set.
Yeah.
And then they sort of did this thing where they released some unnumbered cards in one and one. They also released a number to 49 set. So for me, it muddied the set a little bit and sort of devalued it. But on the
Yeah.
flip side of that, and also now that we're 12 months down the track, I actually wonder if now is a really good time to sort of go back and, grab a couple of those cards because I think aesthetically they're
Mm.
beautiful on card
Yep.
autographs, the on timers, old
Mm-hmm.
timers.
Yeah.
And people do sort of get swept up into, sort of quite fresh products. So that's probably the other thing I'm going to be doing at the moment is just
Looking for
queuing up a, queuing up a few of those and, checking them out. So
yeah.
final
Yeah.
thoughts, Mr. Amy, of this week's
Fine.
episodes.
It's good. It's just good to be back.
It's good to be back.
We've got the Christmas games or Christmas Day games, which is Boxing Day down here, coming up, which I'm looking
Yes.
forward to watching. Good. Yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm going to spend my Christmas dollars on. Just for
One and one.
some. Well, it's a thought. I don't know if I want to go on buy any of the lower end stuff on a Wemby chase or a I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. It's good that there's lots happening in the hobby. It's not all bad, although Draymond's an idiot. Yeah, I think there's lots happening hobby wise. I think there's lots happening in the sport. I think it's a good time to be an NBA fan right now. So yeah, it's fun. A lot of fun.
I think I'm going to wish everybody a very, very happy and safe Christmas because it's only 8 days till Christmas, Ad.
Yeah, I'm like, are
Hopefully
we?
we
I'm hopeful that we can get something up.
let's try and work out something else. But if we can't, I just wanted to make sure I wish everyone, a
Yeah,
very
just as
safe and
long as
happy Christmas. And
enjoy the silly season. I'm sure there'll be yeah. Don't do
Thanks
your
for all of
nana
your
and
support.
lose it. Get down to EJ's
Don't do
and
it.
check out their what they've
Don't do a
got going on for
Draymond.
Christmas. Yeah, no one losing their mind at like the Christmas sales while they're doing all their Christmas shopping and I don't know, choking out a store attendant or something crazy like that. Just keep your temper. Don't go shopping with Draymond if you see him, Russell, over in I don't know why he'd be in Boston, but who knows. Don't try and put on a Boston accent either. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate it. They might like it actually. Who knows? Some of that Aussie charm.
I'm walking here. Yeah.
Oh God. I'm just
Alrighty,
thinking of
guys.
movies like
Thank
The
you so
Town.
much.
Anyway. You have a great great Christmas, everybody. Enjoy a white Christmas. Hope is it white over there for you? White Christmas? Snow and stuff?
Not at the
Cold?
moment. We're hoping for some snow. Yeah.
Cool. Well hoping it's a
Freezing.
white Christmas over there for you. Hoping for the opposite here. But yes, thanks everyone. Love your support. Stuff. We'll speak to you soon.
Yes, guys.